and read Writing Down the Bones 4 times and On Writing 6 times. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tara East. I'm a writer, blogger, YouTuber, and the author of the mystery novel Every Time He Dies. And in this week's video, I want to talk about how everything is writing. So a while back, I shared a video called Everything is Writing. And in this week's video, I want to sort of branch off this topic a little bit. So many writers and creatives have a tendency to fall into two particular camps when it comes to the idea of what constitutes as writing. Some people think the only thing that counts is the words on the page. Writing is writing, and don't kid yourself into believing anything else. For a long time, I agreed with this perspective as well, but as I shared in the previously mentioned video, I've recently jumped camps. Now I see how my writing is very much impacted by what's going on in my life, both in a practical sense, but also a reflective sense. For example, if I have a bunch of teaching deadlines, then this will impact how much time I have to dedicate to writing. Similarly, the books I'm reading or the conversations I'm having with the people around me may spark particular ideas for my work. I believe that thinking, reading, teaching, exercise, relaxation, socializing, and even errands can count as writing. You can actively find ways to connect all of these aspects of your life to writing, but we also need to acknowledge how important it is for our brains to have legitimate downtime. Obsessively thinking about writing or your manuscript isn't actually that helpful. Our subconscious is startlingly good at coming up with creative solutions and new ideas, and how we do that is by giving our conscious mind a rest, by swapping tasks or giving ourselves permission to actually relax. Revolutionary. This reframe of what counts as writing is infinitely more helpful than the punitive belief that only writing is writing. However, even with this reframe, there are a few potential problems. When you're first getting into writing, you will most likely consume a lot of content as a way to improve and develop your writing ability, your understanding of craft, how to be consistent, as well as how the industry, both traditional and indie publishing, actually works. You may join a writing group, sign up for courses online, become a member of your state's writing center, attend book launches, volunteer at festivals, and follow other writers on social media. All this stuff is great, and becoming an active member in your local and digital writing network can be really supportive. But we also need to balance all of these external activities with our actual writing practice. Don't let them replace writing. Let me explain. Talking for a few hours with your writing buddy about your latest idea for a manuscript is a lot of fun and deeply satisfying. However, we write because our ideas come with a certain amount of tension. We aren't certain what the story is about, who is in it, or what they'll do. Remember, our brains are hardwired to solve problems, and stories are one massive problem. But by talking through your story with your buddy, you've largely solved that problem and thus eliminated the tension that would have propelled you into the writing. Now, every writer is different. Some writers can talk extensively about their ideas, their plot and story before they are fully developed, and it doesn't affect their progress. Famously, the collective duo Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman developed their story ideas together and outlined the first 100 pages of their co-written novels. But note that this is an example of a writing team, not a solo writer sharing their ideas with another writer or friend. In the case of Jay and Amy, they are also acting as accountability partners, for they are both invested in working on the story together. Plus, they only draft 100 pages of the story at a time, so in this way, the story contains a bit of mystery and flexibility. Maybe talking with other writers is supportive to your process. Maybe it isn't. But if you talk about writing more than you actually write, that's when we've got a bit of a problem. Similarly, reading craft books, completing online courses, and obsessively listening to writing podcasts, attending festivals, book launches, and events are a really great way to become a member of the community and to meet like-minded people. But these too can quickly become a trap. First, you fall into the habit of constantly learning, but never doing. You understand the fundamentals of craft, you've studied the writing routines of classic and contemporary writers, you've given your inner critic a persona, created multiple Pinterest boards that represent the aesthetic of your novel, bought a bunch of notebooks and read Writing Down the Bones 4 times and On Writing 6 times, but you haven't created an outline, or written a chapter, or played around with character profiles. The internet is wonderful, seriously, but sometimes knowing so much can actually become a hindrance. We worry that we're going to get it wrong. We're afraid that if we actually start, our worst fear will be proven, that we suck. Now let me reassure you here, because you probably do suck, because all first drafts suck, and that's totally okay, because that's why we invented editing. These external activities can also hinder us because we start to get to know people. We build connections and we feel like we're a part of the tribe. You got accepted even though you haven't finished or started your novel. Now, this is one of the best things about the writing community. We accept people of all different levels, experiences, and motivations. Beginners, professionals, hobbyists, and devotees. Everyone is welcomed. And yet, when we get initiated into a group without having to, do anything except show up and show some level of interest, there is then little reason to write your book because, hey, you already got in. Of course, these activities help build your knowledge, and being around other writers can inspire you to take writing more seriously, but we can't rely on the community as a whole to make us accountable. If you need accountability to reach your goals, then find a writing buddy, a mentor, or a group to support you. The final problem with all these writing-related activities is that they take time, which is one of the writer's most precious resources. Depending on where you're at with your writing, you need to assess how your time is best spent. Will a weekend attending a writer's festival refill your creative well, provide important industry insight, and forge new connections? Or should you finish the final round of edits on your novel? Will signing up for an online creative writing mini course give you the permission you need to start being creative? Or should you just start working on your outline? While I'm presenting these scenarios as this or that, sometimes you can do both. For example, you can spend one day at the writing festival and one day editing, and you can do that online course, but use your outline as the project that you're doing through that course. Writing-related activities can give us the satisfaction we expect to get from writing, only without the hard work, wonder, tears, and joys of creative practice. Everything is writing, provided that you're actually writing. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Do you feel that writing-related activities get in the way of your writing, or are they supportive of it? Do you find that you have to balance these two activities? Please leave a comment below and tell me all about it, because I'd love to know. Now, if you'd like even more writing advice, you can of course check out the other videos on this channel or go to taraeast.com and dive into the archives. While you're there, be sure to join my email newsletter, because when you do, I'll send you a free gift and you'll get a newsletter in your inbox every Thursday morning containing links to that week's blog and vlog, as well as a little note by me, a quote of the week, some resources I've recently enjoyed, and some other tidbits that I only share via email. Thank you so much for being here this week, guys. I really appreciate it. Stay safe, stay calm, and keep writing, because the world actually does need more books. I'll see you next week.